Hey yo, welcome. This is the first show I'm doing under. I don't even know what I'm gonna call it. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I was thinking of different names, but we got Pax, Glo Phase, Wave Groove, and Yourself in Peace from Beat Cinema, and I Love Supreme and Treasure.
More the chill pill now.
Okay, so now it's Chill Pill now. Are you going to continue that
what up?
project more, or is it more just going to be Chill Pill focused?
No, actually, I would start it up if it made sense too, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name Chill Pill?
We were trying to do something really on the nose, like for a down tempo night, and then also just like all the '90s throwback stuff is like pretty big, so it was like take a chill pill. That's the that like never really even died, but yeah, it was one of the most like under scrutinized naming processes ever. It was just like, oh, there it is, okay, done. So yeah.
Did you come up with it, or
Yeah, actually.
was it like your first guess and everybody was just like,
It was.
perfect?
I think he said like we could call it like I'm doing with a friend Lupe, who has a Dub Lab show, who's great. I think he said something like chill out, and I was like, no, chill pill, and he was like, cool, yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
That's it.
It rolls off the tongue better.
It does, yeah, and it's good for little graphics, little images too. So
Chill pill. I
next,
like
yeah, next Thursday,
Yeah.
Melody Lounge, 9 p.m. to 2.
that. Every second Thursday, or
Right now, it's the first Thursday Melody, but we don't really have a definitive monthly date there. But if it doesn't work there, we're going to move it somewhere else. So it'll be happening hopefully as a monthly soon. But yeah, first one or second one is March 7th at Melody.
Melody.
Woo!
Shout out to
Shout out to
Shout out to
Melody.
Melody Lounge.
Melody Lounge is the
Sick.
greatest venue in Los Angeles, in my opinion.
Hey, shout out to Bless for all these blessings. You know what I'm saying? That's the bar manager. Yeah.
But-
Shout out to him though. You know what I'm saying?
And
Yeah.
segue into Beat Cinema, obviously.
What was that?
A segue into Beat Cinema, Melody
Oh,
Lounge.
yeah. Every fourth Thursday over there, we hold music of all sorts and DJs sets from like 9 to 2 every fourth Thursday over there in Melody Lounge. Pretty good.
I would say it gets popping later at night. There's a lot of cool people who come at like 11:30 to maybe 2.
Yeah, roughly.
Before
Around the
that-
later time.
Before that, it's kind of like a chill spot just to grab a drink and then hang out in Chinatown.
Yeah.
But a great venue.
I like Melody Lounge. It's like
Really cool.
small enough where everybody can like talk. It's like chill space.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I'm asking for too much. The only thing I don't like is the parking situation.
Yeah, it's always bad.
Yeah, but that's I'm asking for too
It's always
much.
bad.
I feel like for LA, it's not too bad.
It's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not that bad.
For downtown LA,
Yeah.
you know what
It's
I mean.
about as
That's
good as it
that's the
gets.
best part.
Yeah.
Best place to park.
But
in. Yeah.
I just parked behind the building. The street behind.
Is there an entrance there?
Hospital or is that? No, there's just
Oh,
like a bunch of
Pacific
parking.
Alliance. Yeah, that's
yeah.
the hospital next door.
Yeah, I
yeah,
just
yeah.
parked behind there. That's always got parking, I think.
Hell yeah.
I think Chinatown has one of the best. There's not a lot of bars per se, but they're all pretty strong. Like
Generally
is awesome, and they do something in conjunction with Melody too. Like they kind of have a synergy between them.
A lot of little galleries too.
I was about
Yeah.
to say, there's some really cool galleries, great restaurants. Burger Lords is there, but that's in like the afternoon. Bakeries as well. You can get some nice pastries.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe tell us you guys about like how you guys got started and stuff. I think it's a good talking point here.
Who wants to go first?
Rock paper scissors. I don't know. Go around the table.
You want to start at PAX?
Start at PAX.
You mean get started in general? Get started with the respective shows that we run out here.
Well, we're all promoters here, right? Let's
When
go.
did you start like promoting or throwing shows?
I-
Like, what kind of started that?
So I'm from Florida, from Orlando, Florida, born and raised, and that's where my first shows were out there. I started making music when I was like 17, and it took me till leaving to go to college and come back before I started throwing shows in Orlando. But a lot of the guys that I was around back then, this is like not that like 2018, 2019, and they're still around. Like I just played with them the last time I was down there. As Please Understand, that's the Beat Assembly, Free Rice, Hog Leg Nation. So those guys have been, those were the first shows that I ever was on or was throwing. I did a show at the venue I worked at, Iron Cow Cafe in Orlando, where I was like sound guy, bartender, would throw shows every once in a while. But yeah, and then after post-pandemic came out here. So 2 years didn't do any shows or anything like that until coming back out here. Beat Cinema was the first one I was ever on. So shout out to Wave Groove for
Well,
putting
I
me
mean,
on.
I only joined Beat Cinema around like as a resident officially around 2014, but I've been helping them since like 2012. But we all started in '09 over in Claremont, which is about like an hour and a half away east of Los Angeles, and we've been booking people in the beat scene for I don't know for how long, but that's
12,
how
12
we-
years in LA is like
Yeah.
30 years anywhere else. That's
But
true.
yeah, it's just a passion project. It's always been about a passion, and that's what drove us to the opportunities that we have now, and opportunities to meet everybody here. You know,
Right.
that's, and I've been best friends with this man since high school. So,
Word.
like,
It's been a long time.
It's just he's the reason why I'm in music actually.
Wow.
But like everything just came together after college, and meeting similar-minded people brings similar-minded projects, and we need a space to play, and that's what Beat Cinema is. Yeah.
I'm tripped
Nice.
out that you said you joined Beat Cinema.
Yeah, so Rick and his sister started this project as a let's have DJs inside and then have films like Rocky Horror Film Nights
So
in
that's
the
why it's called
outside.
Beat Cinema.
Basically, yeah. And then
Oh.
the guy who had the videos and projector set up, that guy is Major Gabe. So he learned VJing and visual projections throughout the time, and then started throwing visuals in the back. And I think like the second or third big guest was like Flylo or Daedalus, like back in the day. And yeah, we just kept the tradition going. It's a bar setting. Go there, play some beats in front of people who like it, and then it spread to like different genres. So here we are.
That's awesome that it's so long running. It
Yeah.
speaks to it.
Yeah, there have been some fun shows throughout the years.
Yeah, there've
Some great
been
guests.
plenty.
Yeah.
What new genres are you exploring now more than ever? Like, what's like the big difference?
House, a lot of up tempo and house
Okay.
that's just not been presented, because I've been digging this stuff from like Europe, but ever since Beat Cinema, I was just so focused on hip hop, R&B, and electronic music that But now it's open. Like we've started exploring with everybody we've met post pandemic, and who knows what other genre we might tap into. you know?
Yeah.
So
Beat Cinema has kind of always been open to a lot of different like genres for sure. I mean, I make sort of like shoegaze and electronic. I play guitar and stuff, and they're always really receptive to what I release. And I put a video out through them and Loser Records from Japan. Shout out Mayumi Killer.
yeah, that's
She's
that's
really
the other
cool.
fam.
We went to Japan last year. We did a whole tour. Got to experience living like a Japanese person because we knew friends. We knew
Yeah,
people
yeah.
who were like deep in regular ass Japanese culture. It was great. They
You're
showed
coming-
us all the dope spots.
You're coming through the Japan too.
Are you going?
Yes, I will be
Wow, yeah.
joining.
Yes.
I just need to buy a ticket and not die on the plane.
Y'all are going back.
Yeah, we're going back in May.
Nice.
It's gonna be sick. Yeah, to what you guys were saying before, like I feel like the beat scene is a very amorphous. It's not really well defined.
Yeah.
There's people that do, trap music. People that do way crazy 160 plus up tempo shit. People that are guitarists. You know what I mean? People doing, people like Ritual Fade. Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
unique experimental performances is kind of, what it is right now. Like
Yeah.
it's all genre, no judgment is better for like just getting talent.
Right.
And being like, yo, you guys are
That's-
playing.
yeah,
We're all
that's
playing
it.
house music. Don't fuck up. Bring your
Right.
USB stick. We're not even gonna
It's-
announce anybody.
The whole scene seems to be rooted in like some level of experimentation and not being adhering too much to like a beat per minute or like a style. And it's good. It's easy for a lot of scenes probably to fall into those pitfalls of being really like overly corralling with what they put on. But it's no, like not to just be endlessly congratulating you on it, but no, it's cool to keep it, to like have the spirit of that still.
Oh,
And it very much, I would say it's probably, I don't know, because I've only been here for 2.5 years, but I would imagine it's as diverse maybe as it's ever been based on just what I've seen in lineups.
Oh, of course. I mean,
Great point.
it's just been such a long ride already that I meet great people that come to the show and they perhaps make music, and I'm just open to hearing what they think is good so I could understand what music is. It's a universal thing. It's a universal language. It's just how you want to enjoy it.
For sure.
You know?
On the roster too, we have people who make ambient music, like
R&B.
electric pop, R&B, soul, like
Yeah, we
experimental stuff, like
There you
house,
go.
like as long as it's sort of like in the realm of something that's trying to push some sort of boundary within the parameters of like electronic music, we'll fuck with it, right?
yeah, most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
I try getting as many open acts as possible. I like the main thing about me is I like keeping the variety in the lineups. I don't like getting like the same name too many times or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you guys too, man. It's the only time you'll hear hardcore techno, and then the next guy will be doing ambient music. Fucking next guy after that will be me or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love super diverse lineups, especially like the Woodley Park shows are so.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
fun.
yeah, they're great,
interesting.
man.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
anything goes. You're just there to see the
Yeah,
music. There's nothing
that's
else.
right.
You're in
I
it.
decided to make that the Anything Goes show.
Yeah.
Every
Hell
once in a
yeah.
while, I try keeping themes. Like I got this one coming up on Sunday. It's more like trans and stuff, and they're like all within their same record label. But like, I try fighting for making it weird, even though some people are all like, "What the hell, dude?"
Yeah, even though some people are having like a 10-year-old's birthday party. And they're-
Oh yeah, no, the 10-year-olds are digging it.
You got a guy named Problems, and he was.
Oh, I remember. I was there.
Yeah.
I was
he
there
was,
with the shirt.
his
with the
music is like this
Oh my
industrial
God.
hardcore, and he's just rapping lyrics about his dog and how
Yeah.
much he loves his dog.
Yeah,
And I
that was
dude,
wild.
Shout out to
you're a
Problems.
That-
fucking genius.
Shout out to
Like, I
Problems.
loved
like
it.
a 50-city tour.
And he's like, he's
Right
on a
now?
different level.
Yeah.
that blue. There's
That show.
Yeah.
Whoa.
there's some like 10-year-old whose mind was totally just completely blown open by that set. Like this.
I remember when a large man just was screaming at me about his dog.
That's when it all changed.
That's where it all changed.
He had his awakening that day. Yeah, excellent. But yeah, I mean, I really like the fact that like there's just a space for like eclectic stuff. You know, I feel like sometimes it becomes in LA or just anywhere really where like everybody just kind of bundles up over like this one sound or something and becomes weirdly exclusive, right?
I
Totally.
could
It
tell
becomes
you the story of that.
Oh yeah.
Because like back in '08 when I started DJing more and turned 21 and wanted more gigs, it was all like, do you play top 40?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have Serato and turntables. Of course I do, yes. I do college parties. Yeah, I'll play your club.
Yeah.
You get so fucking tired of that. Even though the paycheck's great.
That's a job.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
job.
job.
Yeah, that's-
But that was the only thing,
Right.
except for Low End Theory, which inspired the Beat Cinema and the Green and Golds, like back in early 2010s.
I think we're all on the same page there.
Yeah.
Is everybody here a Low End Theory fan?
Oh,
yeah,
totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when I was in Florida, I mean, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
My buddy moved out here, and he fucking came out and started going to those shows and told me about the Gas Lamp Killer sets and all this shit that was.
Actually, what was your main thing in Florida? What was like the big hype?
What
electronic
we
thing.
talking about when I was kind of coming up? When I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like-
When like
What was blowing
Dude, it
up
was
over there?
bass music. It was dubstep, stuff like that. Like
Okay.
I went to Excision 4 years in a row, selling Molly and fucking what's it called? That's it, Canadian dubstep, bro step.
Yeah.
But also, like when I was working at the Iron Cat, like it was in the tech house bubble of a
Oh,
couple
right.
years ago. Like that shit it's still big. Miami's right there, like
Yeah.
Club Space. Like there's a whole scene of house music in Orlando that's been
That like big room house.
yeah,
kinda stuff.
or not even that, but like fucking
There's thing like Miami bass.
yeah, Miami bass. Schematic is out of Miami. They're fucking you know old school IDM and shit like that. Like DJ Icy was from Orlando. Like that was a big thing back in the 80s. There was a huge hardcore scene and then like deep house scene. So
That's cool.
Nice.
yeah, that's always been there.
That's really cool.
But beat scene stuff like that was really an LA export.
Sure.
That like kids like me in Florida were watching the videos of like John Wayne or something like
Is that
that.
what brought you out? Is that what made you go like?
I mean, I came out here on accident just on some other, but this has always been an inspiration. Like, if I could say my like biggest influences, they're all LA beat scene guys. I mean, Flying Lotus, just personally from what I make, like, you know, guys like Teebs, guys like Daedalus, like you're saying, like the early beat cinema people that you know were on and around.
Yeah.
Ross G, another one. I mean, absolute legend. That's guys that you fucking saw coming up that I was just a huge fan of from, you know, around the country. And I think a lot of other people were too.
You said, to your point, like everywhere in the country and everywhere in the world, it probably sort of spawned these like little, you know, beat nights. And like, it's a cool, and like, yeah, it speaks to like the keeping it open-minded with like, with experimentation with regards to like genre. Like,
yeah, I mean,
that's,
everyone deserves a chance. Everyone deserves to play if they want to share their music, you know? They deserve that chance.
totally.
That's why these things actually were created.
Right.
Because, like I said, it was all top 40 clubs. You had no chance to, like, share it in a nightclub setting at
Right.
all. This was, like, 2000s. And it only became, till Low End Theory and Sketchbook, that's where it started going, oh, it just doesn't have to be played at a vinyl shop. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's rock nightclubs now. Yeah.
But no, speaking to the keeping it diverse, I think that really is indicative of like people that a lot of people like a lot of different music. Like we don't all want to just hear the same thing all the time. Sometimes I'm into like a house night that's all house, but I know where to go for that. So it's cool. Like you're gonna have the less homogenous a sound is, the more, I don't want to say the more like open-minded the crowd is going to be, but you're definitely not going to come across people that don't like music at like a totally random sort of show. Like you have a quality of like people that support. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I scare away the closed-minded people from my show. Like, cause like, you know, every once in a while I was like, lo-fi, and then like, come on, breakcore. And it's like, all right, you scared me.
Which is weird to think, because I feel like now in today's day and age, I would feel like more people are more open to listening to whatever, but it's still there, man. People are still kind of closed off.
There's a lot of people that just listen to Drake, and that's it.
They walk into beat cinema, and I've seen where Kobe's been literally playing with his fingers because he does a whole finger drumming set.
Yeah, yeah.
And the girl walks up and asks Kobe if she could request a song.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Like,
dude, you
this
see
is-
what he's doing right now? It's
I
like,
have that all the
every
time.
night. That
Yeah.
happens every night there.
Yeah.
you'd think,
It
I mean,
happened
if
to-
someone was DJing, you'd think they'd
Right.
at least think that. But if he's,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
it's.
if he stops, there's no music. I don't know what you want to do.
I've had that with me, and I'm like, this is a drum machine, and they're still like, well, so can you play it, or like what? Alex, did you talk about Palacio? I mean, this is your show.
What's
You
your
should
story?
give a heads up.
What's the start? Where was the start?
Honestly, I just,
What was the first one?
I said it like just as a lie, like at first, and that's kind of what started. I was like, you know, I'm thinking about starting an electronic platform, and like only one kid really latched on. He's like, yeah, this is what the Valley needs.
I think that's where it all starts, man.
Yeah.
And then I saw you guys at the Canby around 2018 with Kobe.
That's early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
think
one
was
of the
it.
first ones.
That's actually the second show.
Yeah,
There you go,
yeah.
the Canby.
What was the first one?
The first one was Basic. Out of all people,
Oh,
shout out
Basic.
Basic.
Oh,
Thanks
yeah.
so much for coming out to Candy.
I saw him with you guys when you did Valley Day.
Yeah.
And he
Hey,
fucking is the.
So
dude,
wait,
these
Basic
guys-
was on your first show?
Yeah.
That's
Was it in the one in those studios in Van Nuys? That was the first show. Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
you guys
that
had
wasn't
me.
that
Was
one.
that a different one?
Was
Oh,
that
okay.
the NoHo Nelson. That wasn't the first show though.
Oh no, that's just 818.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
The first show was this small mini bar at the Canby. I would not suggest that spot, unfortunately.
Dude, it can't be
Good to know.
sucks, man. Unfortunately.
Tell me how you really feel.
Yo, can be.
No,
Fuck everyone who works there.
It
What-
would be sick if it wasn't so problematic. You know what I'm saying? Like
Alex,
No, yeah.
what year was that? I have actually no idea.
2018.
2018.
that's
like,
not
right
too-
before
2019.
COVID.
It's not super long
No,
ago, too.
2018. You swear? Time passed. Time flies.
But you
Sure
did
does.
you think you wanted to put on shows out of necessity at any point? Because I mean, you definitely try to rep a lot of like, you like a lot of Valley artists, especially, and like kind of carve out your own thing. So that seems like you would require a certain amount of like initiative and want to like put on these shows.
I just really like music, man. Like, the main thing is that I'm not like most normal people.
Okay.
Like when I talk like about music, like they look at me really weird because I'll be like, "Oh, dude, I found this band and this band and this band, this compilation album,"
Right.
and they'll just be like, "Yeah, I don't know what's on the radio now."
Right.
You know, and I'm just like, and once I found you guys, you know,
Yeah.
you other artists, you guys were as crazy about music as I was.
Yes, sir.
So I was already like, all right, this is so much
It's a
more
nice
fun.
feeling to meet someone that's crazier than oneself about
Yeah,
music.
like I think it's just that I found my community and I like being around everybody. And
Yeah.
More than anything, I like doing it. That's the honest truth. Even if I was like not making money, sometimes I do. I'd be like, well, it's gonna be a great show.
That's I think if you're getting into it strictly to make money, it's going to speak to like if your motivations are to do that, it's going to like potentially affect the purity of your I don't know, like the overall like who you're booking, how you're handling it. Like when you're doing it strictly for the love of it, it shows, and it's you're not looking at it as like a job. Like it's going to be better for everyone that would otherwise like kind of like click with it.
Speaking on like more show promotion stuff, how do you guys handle that? Have you guys ever done like a show where like we need a minimum of 300 people, a minimum of 100, minimum of...
Oh yeah, that was 2021, 22.
You don't do it as
Because
much
like we went to the Moroccan Lounge. Remember we had a series there?
Mhm.
Yeah, basically they were like, you gotta hit at least minimum $500 at the bar. So I'm like, okay, well that's arbitrary because what if people are just not drinking and they're just smoking weed out there and not drinking? Like,
bar
damn it.
percentages are wild. How you can
Yeah.
think that it's going to be horrible, but if you have like 50 high or low functioning alcoholics, you're like, whoa, we did.
Yeah.
We have a very healthy scene. I mean,
Right.
you know, everyone's fucked up in their own ways or
Right.
whatever, but like we don't have people that come out and get sloppy drunk,
Right.
which is nice. But at the same time, that person would have spent $100.
Yeah, that adds
yeah.
up. Like,
You know, so
So,
it sucks
yeah.
that sometimes the value of your music is based on how fucked up people get at the bar.
right.
And
yeah,
it
that's
doesn't
a
make
very
any
good,
sense.
That doesn't
because
That's
make
sort of
sense.
I think that like with regards to like doing it for the love of it, it's a trade-off with like you'll end up putting on events at places that don't have these ridiculous like minimums and stuff like that. But then the trade-off is then you're free to do whatever the hell you like. You could just
That's
do
why
what you want.
We do Love Supreme in a warehouse that's, you know, at least the lease is owned by like a member of that organization. That's Burn the Topiary, who is the guy that
Shout out Frank.
Shout out Frank. Yeah,
Shout out
him and his
Frank.
wife run a business out of there. We're there just, you know, in a blank canvas to
Right.
do VJ and like music on top of.
Right.
And because of that, it ends up sometimes being such a better vibe than any other
Yeah,
show
totally.
that,
That's-
especially out. It's in Ontario. Anything that you could go to out there,
Right.
it's like, man, there's no cover, no anything. There's beers in the fridge. You could have one if you want.
Yeah.
There's water bottles, and people have such a better time. Sometimes just like, man, I don't want to fucking deal with the bar.
That
I don't
sounds
want
so
to have
nice,
to.
honestly.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
You know what I mean? Like,
That reminds me. So like,
and on the other side, we don't have to deal with the fucking sound guy who's a dick. We
Yeah.
don't have to deal with the
all-
bartender who's pissed off because and he wants to close early because he didn't make as much money as he thought he would.
right.
I've never
Shout out
had a
Right.
problem
Yeah.
with the
Nope.
bartender. I've
No, they're
most-
usually
I'm sorry.
cool.
No,
Not
sorry.
to be
I've never
disparaging
I never
them.
had a problem with the sound guy. I've always had a problem with the bartender or the security. Like I've had like
Yo,
real.
bartenders, if you're a bartender, off. Security, I love you. I respect you.
I have the most problem with security.
Well, they're just
They
gonna
can
fuck
go.
me
They
up.
can
I
go
don't
either
want them
way,
to fuck me
but
up.
they're generally
Have you-
pretty.
have you-
I've always been more of a utilitarian promoter in that, like where the next chill pill is at Melody, which again, and I can tell by the all of you that it's a celebrated venue. For me, it's so music forward to not anything specific too. You can walk in one night and hear like some really cool, like it could be a beat cinema event, or you can hear like some crazy footwork, or it could be like all these like Latin soul 45s. I didn't know there was that many Latin soul 45s to like
Yeah,
necessitate
SG1
a
does
monthly,
something
but I'm
like
so glad that there
There's a lot
are.
of them.
But it's like if I could sit down and like listen to music
Milk Crate
for
Mondays is another one.
Milk Crate
Yeah,
Mondays
Milk
is
Crate
awesome. Like
Mondays,
if I could
yeah.
sit down and listen to like 3 hours of a DJ set and never having heard any of the music and be completely like blown away every night of the week pretty much, and like that's a spot I want to be at. I think one of the most obvious things that actually is overlooked with choosing a venue is what is happening there otherwise. It's like
Yeah.
the other
I was
programs.
about to
right.
say.
Because like if you have this like place where it could be like perfect, it could check all the other boxes, but if it's all these like, you know, kind of basic ass normies like wanting to like hear that Drake song, asking you to play Drake on your drum machine, like
Yeah.
then you're gonna be in trouble if you're the only like cool night of the week. But
That-
I've
yeah.
learned that the hard way. Yeah.
In Chinatown, though, like if you look, we all like don't dig somebody at like a certain time. We hear this music and we're like, oh, I don't really vibe with this. So like, if you don't dig something at Melody, you can literally just go to General Lee's,
Absolutely.
grab some Chinese
Yeah.
food, like literally up the street. There's pho.
It's
like you can do,
right.
and then just come back and get hammered. You know.
And then just wait. You're right. But no, I mean, yeah, I've seen some wild things there, and that were not my thing, and like, and that just mix it up. But for me, with this event, that was like, I actually just kind of wanted to do something there, and I was like, they don't really have enough kind of mellow stuff there, and that fits the room, and like, and that's just a solid spot. So to like, I think, were you offered the Catch One thing, or did that just come up? How did that come up?
I honestly reached out to them and I was all like, "Hey, I'm trying to book show." I was honestly trying to find any space.
Right.
I've always been on this idea of just sending like huge amount of emails to just being like, "Yo, who wants to book us?" And every once in a while, everybody bites. Every
Yeah.
once in a while.
Shoot your shot, man.
Well, they have. I mean, they have a lot of rooms to fill.
Yeah.
Cat,
I'll say this: they also are a venue where they are very much about the numbers.
Right.
Where they're all like very much, you got to
Well,
fill this room.
They all have to be though.
They
at the end
yeah,
of the day,
it's-
they
I-
still
that's
gotta
why I
fill
don't.
the-
I can't get mad like whenever that's their like sort of main their like MO is like just it's about the numbers because their overhead's insane, and that's why it's for me
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like it's like congruent spaces, and again I'm not trying to put on these like big events, but so Melody for me would be like an optimal like spot in terms of the capacity, in terms of like Wes and I were just talking about, like you could have 20 people there, and it's like a nice, especially if you're doing mellow music,
Yeah,
and
I
you're
mean-
not like you don't necessarily need to have like a dance floor or like you know, but
It's a fantastic place because you got a good music programmer there, first of all. And I said Bless earlier, but that's the guy. And he's been with us. We've been there since late 2017 or 2018. But they've always been having DJs that do vinyl nights. They have different genres of music play there. And at the time, it was just like, there's not much going on in this city that's this diverse. So that's why they came up to us back in the day. And
Yeah.
it's probably all the programmer's job is to have like a good, keen sense of what's going
he
on.
definitely
around.
has his
Yeah,
ear to
yeah.
the ground. With in terms of the diversity, I'm blown away every time I'm there. I'm like hearing I'm like, oh, and this is here as well.
Oh
Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean,
It's never not fun at Melody.
Yeah.
I feel
Some of my all-time favorite beat shows have been Beat Cinema Melody Lounge Beat Cinemas.
absolutely.
yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy in there.
How long you guys been there now?
What was it? 6 years.
Oh wow.
6 years. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
the big takeaway for that is that you want a community too. You want like people to like feel like they're part of something or like they're experiencing something together.
Right.
I think all the successful events, promotions, whatever that I've seen, have that kind of level to them. They have like a feeling of like you go and you feel like
When it feels
acceptance, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
When it and
You
a
can just
strike
be yourself.
a strike against the Catch One places, which again have to like cover a huge thing, but when it feels like a cash grab, it cheapens the overall experience. Whereas when it feels like it's for the like, it sound like such a hippie, just like the purity of music and like
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
and community and like love and all that. Like it it's just more, I don't know, when I feel like I'm just being like fleeced every which way, it's like it's hard to enjoy yourself.
With promoters too, I think they start shows thinking of the payout immediately, and they're like, okay, it's my third show. I need to figure out how to make $100 at least minimum. So they start monetizing it in a way that benefits them first.
Yeah,
And
it's a
then-
slippery slope.
And then the artists see them making money and not giving it out, and they're like, wait, so you're making money. So I think people just get, it's like either have enough money to put on shows where you pay the venue fee and you're the promoter and you do all the promotion, or and that way you could pay your artists, or don't take a cut of anything until it's making money on its own, because otherwise then they start charging people for slots to play.
Oh,
'cause they're trying to
This is
monetize
what's so
it.
that's
cool
the
about,
worst.
especially what
But
you.
that's this in towns all over America.
Yeah, this
I mean,
is
yeah,
everywhere.
it's a-
Yeah, this isn't exclusive. This isn't exclusive to LA.
Broke talk?
Like you have these DIY spots everywhere.
Actually, I think it's more common outside of LA.
I think it's everywhere.
Like really,
I
like
don't
if
agree
it's
with
LA,
that.
you
I
get kind
can't
of
speak.
canceled.
You should.
What, for a pay to play?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, no, no,
If
I
you
was-
did
around
it in
like
like the southern area and stuff, like people would.
yeah, but like
sure.
somewhere like Phoenix, somewhere like
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
they don't-
Charlotte.
they're
Austin,
down with it,
Texas.
surprisingly.
But as far as like the DIY thing, I mean, it came out of necessity. Like it was like whenever every which way you have things that aren't into your music, or they're like overcharging for drinks, or like cover or any of that. The DIY thing was like sort of born out of that. And like we did something you did something at Coaxial Arts, and I was on the bill a couple months ago. And it was the first time.
Great
That
fucking
spot is so cool, and they've
Dude,
been
that place,
around.
all right, so
fucking
first of
spot.
all,
It's a great spot,
I don't know
yeah.
if you guys know this. Coaxial has a rule.
Yes,
They say
I was
if you
gonna. This is
ever-
what I was gonna bring up.
Yeah,
the rule?
if
What's
you
the
It's
rule?
like
host a show
one
there,
rule.
No straight
all the
men.
money has to go to the artist.
That's the best
which
rule.
is such a cool
That's
rule.
the coolest rule ever.
That is so
Coaxial
cool.
fucking
you're-
rules, dude.
Yeah, and you're saying that as a promoter too. So that,
Yeah.
your purity as a promoter isn't proven by that.
Honestly, some shit, man, I would way rather the people that came out to come play a show make money than me as the guy who's putting on the show make money. Like with the Love Supreme and shit like that, like me getting paid for running the sound there would totally defeat the purpose of me going to like run the sound there and help host the show and shit like that.
Yeah,
I
and
would
you
rather
have
get.
a great team. You got T-Dot, you got
We had a huge
Trav,
team.
you
Trav,
got Josh.
Black God,
Yeah.
Zalente, this Lauren Glare doing visuals and
Honestly,
shit like that.
I think that's where it all starts, is having people that have the same vision as you. That's where things start changing.
Yeah,
Because,
I think
yeah.
that as well. Because any of the teams that I realized that kind of like fell down is because it was one guy really down for it, and everybody else really wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about like having people in the same page of things, of what goals you want to do together. Yeah.
And the same like motivation too. Like when you're around people that are excited about it, and you're already excited about it, and
Yeah.
then when you like have that like synergistic sort of like.
Mind you, Beat Cinema, all of us come from different backgrounds. We probably even shouldn't be friends at this point. It's just how things had happened, because we are the same kind of people and we've met on the same timeline.
Yeah.
No, they're my best friends, and it's because we ran this together.
Not us. We hate Alex's bullshit.
yeah, they hate me.
Like I'm saying, if I wasn't in music, I probably wouldn't have met Rick or Val or Drop Dead or anybody. It's all about the love and who you're around with and
Who can kiss good too?
Yeah.
That's good. We found that out after COVID, after everyone was vaccinated at that first show,
yeah.
where we were just breathing and licking each other.
It's all-
With the back to Coaxial real quick. They've been around for a minute too. Like you,
Yeah, they're kind of.
Dude,
I kind
like,
of like
over
I
a
think I referenced
decade.
them.
long time.
I think so,
I was in
yeah.
grad school here in LA for art, and I had one of my music videos premiered there.
Oh
And
wow,
people
nice.
did not like it.
No, there's probably a lot of
They didn't
things
like
that
your music
people. There's probably a lot of events that people don't
Okay,
like there all
just
the
give me-
time.
Yeah,
But
just-
that's kind of the beauty of it too. Like it's just it's a place of like expression at its like purest form.
Yeah.
For whatever. So wait, you debuted a video
someone
there?
like purposely bumped into me. I think like
It's just like
in disapproval.
like, your video, dude.
They were just like, ugh. Next time
When
you
was
decide to
this?
express yourself.
When was this?
Were you there?
No.
This was like in grad school. When I was
Okay,
in
yeah.
grad
Was this
Wow.
your grad school
2018,
project?
2019.
Was
Can
this your
I-
project?
Can I
Yeah,
see
it was
this
our
video?
music video. You can look it up.
It's our music
on,
video? Is it?
YouTube? Cover charge. Yourself in
my
peace. You
God.
can look it up.
You
And it
took
was
it
just
down.
about a
I think
cult
you took
and
it
everyone
down.
getting
When
murdered.
I
at the end.
post this, I'll link it in
Took
the
it down 'cause
bio
of the
just so we can all
comments.
see this.
Cover charge. Yourself in peace. You can watch people get
Okay.
murdered.
Every comment's like,
Oh
I'm
my
gonna,
god,
I'm
is
gonna.
that what that is?
He's saying that it was really just faces of death with fucking.
That just all got. But no, wait. So how long has coaxial been around then? It's over a decade.
I know it because of Frankie Jack's show there. I don't know if he's still doing it there because he does it at Love Song too and a couple other places. But
No,
everything that's there
He's
is
definitely not. They definitely go through like a cycle of quite a few events. They got a
Yeah.
pretty booked schedule. They're kind of considered kind of a famous spot, I think.
And it's a gallery too. You know?
Yeah.
A bunch
Yeah.
of artists
But
exhibit
I
there.
would put them up there as like kind of a notable spot, you know,
Definitely.
like
Wh-
same as the Smell and stuff like that.
I was about to say, what are some of y'all's favorite venues in LA for underground music?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's
Love
alright.
Song. Just because I just said it, that's another good
Love
one.
Song's great.
Even
Yeah.
if it's not scenario, which can sometimes be too big for how big
Right.
that space is.
There's
Yeah.
this.
No, they
new-
have good solid
There's
programming.
this new guy. Well, I mean, he's not new. He's been going on for a while. Excuse me if you see this, but Joseph runs 3 spaces. It used to be Saint Cyber Cafe, and then it closed down, and now he
Where
runs.
is it?
in,
What's
like-
gone now?
It's
was
gone
in,
now.
like-
Yeah.
It was in like East Hollywood.
Yeah, and then he ended up getting 2 new spots, 3 actually. But we're doing one in PS's studio this Sunday, and then there's this big warehouse in Newton, which is really great. But those spots have always been great for like putting on shows. He has his eye on the ground of like stuff. He's been going like to like the most experimental underground artists.
Yeah, I gotta check him out.
His spots are dope.
I think one to get out of the way that sort of doesn't count might be Goldline, which is such a solid spot.
Oh yeah.
Oh
And
yeah,
Goldline
actually.
is
But
amazing.
and the
Goldline?
and it does count. Yeah, Goldline
Great
and
drinks.
Bar
Highland
we
Park.
went.
Great drinks.
Yeah,
It's
Second
great
bar.
drinks.
Highballs.
It's the most so.
Vinyl DJing.
I might like Melody might be my favorite bar in LA, but I would say Goldline would be my most consistently favorite in terms of like you're never really gonna be.
Have you tried booking that
disappointed.
spot?
Well, so Goldline is only you're playing out of their collection. You're playing vinyl out of their collection.
Straight
Oh,
And
no, I'm
that's
thinking
it.
about
No, that's
Strong.
not-
So
Yeah,
that's why
Goldfish.
that's why
Goldfish.
No, I'm thinking
that's
about
why I was
Maybe
saying
was
No,
vinyl.
no,
Goldfish.
Goldfish.
No, I'm thinking about a different spot.
that's
Get
what,
off that shit.
That's why I was saying it doesn't totally count because you can't really like put on shows there. But in terms of a like bar, but otherwise, I just came from Outwater at Jackknife the first time I'd been there, which does they sell tapes and cassettes. It's an awesome spot, really cool.
Oh shit!
But
yeah,
they have
there's some great tapes
yeah,
there.
it's
I know
really
exactly
cool.
what
They're
you're
like
talking
the
about.
tape spot I think for LA.
Because I only dig tapes, so I got.
Oh,
a whole
yeah.
bunch. They have,
Oh wow.
But they do
experimental ambient shit, like.
they
Oh,
do
dude,
they do a weekly.
No, shout out to them.
They do a weekly happy hour at right across the street at TG, which is probably one of my favorite spots in LA. That TG always sort of gets. They have bands, they have comedy.
I was about to say they have comedy shows.
They're all over the place, and there's their weekend DJs in the back room with that like giant, like the largest disco ball I've ever
Yeah.
seen is like stacked. Like their lineup is always like their house techno, like disco. Like it's a nice dance party. Drinks are great, dark, cool, like sexy room. So for me,
Ooh,
it's
yeah.
TG,
Sexy, yeah.
TG Melody,
sexy. Yeah.
TG Melody, and Goldline, but that's sort of not quite a venue unless it's, you know.
I think back when I used to go to a lot of hip hop shows, it was Grand Star Jazz Club down the street from Melody Lounge.
Yeah.
That's where like all the old head hip hop dudes would be at, and yeah.
What are they doing now?
Arabic
I've seen
Prince
some
or
big
something
flyers at that.
De La played there. So many like esteemed hip hop musicians that we've grew up with.
And it's a cool spot too.
Oh,
like,
What are the
Two
what are
levels?
the promoters that right now? Like Boombox does a really
Boombox.
cool night.
Boombox does a really great night. You'll often catch Rhetmatic and the Beat Junkies. Shout out to the fam too. But
I
yeah,
think
I
I
saw
saw-
Peanut Butter Wolf for
yeah.
free.
That's
Nice.
where
Oh, wow.
that's where we all used to hang out if it wasn't Low End or Sketchbook.
Nice. I saw so
yeah.
my very first trip to LA, like period,
Yeah.
was in 2019, and I went to see it was April 4th, so do the math for a 4-day, and I think it was probably one of the last Raz G shows. Do you guys want to expand upon the Palacio team? It's you both,
The trio.
Alfredo, Alex,
Yeah.
and
And
Spencer. Okay, so
Spencer,
that's the
yeah.
complete.
Actually, while we're talking about teams, who's on your Chill Pill team? It's
Oh.
Yeah, let's talk about teams.
All right,
And
talking
what do you
about
hate
teams.
about them?
Microsoft Teams.
Well, so the old monthly I was doing at Silver Lake, I was running myself, and I was like so many things. This is I don't want to do this by myself.
Yeah.
But it's cool because you can do whatever you have carte blanche on everything your way. But it's just sort of more fun with like other people. So Jill Pill was my friend Paul. Lupe is his DJ name. He's awesome. He's a Dub Lab spot. I think first Mondays in the afternoon. He's all over the place, like eclectic musically. I was really looking forward to doing something with somebody else, if only to like bounce ideas off of. He makes cool flyers. Like it was kind of like, and we also like our concepts of down tempo are different. And it's such a broad, under the umbrella of electronic music, down tempo would probably be the next like broadest category.
What exactly is down tempo?
So for
It's
me,
very
well, that's a
slow.
great question. I love this because
Ambient,
like
soft beats, kind
for
of.
people that I would talk to about, again, like to what I was talking about earlier, like so many people that are house and techno DJs have down tempo collections that they never get to play, and I would approach some people and I'd be like, are you into down tempo? And 90% of the time they are, and sometimes they're like, no. I'm like, could you do a down tempo set? They're like, no, that's
I
not.
hate slow.
I hate it, but no.
I
For
want to get
me,
people moving.
for me, the corner, right? For me, the corner of down tempo is like UK 90s, maybe trip hop kind of stuff, like the
Yeah.
Bristol.
I was about to say those, because the IDM guys, like in Schematic, they talk about they didn't have the words for lo-fi hip hop back
Yeah,
in the 90s.
right.
So they
That's-
would do shit and they would be like
They were
IDM.
Portishead was doing
downtempo,
resampling and like
Portishead and-
they were
yeah.
pressing things to vinyl to resample them just for that
That
sound.
sounds expensive.
Like
damn.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it was cheaper than but,
Right.
yeah. But yeah,
DJ
Portishead.
Shadow, Trip Hop.
DJ Shadow's like the American like answer to like that Bristol trip hop like sample
Yeah.
based.
That's true.
But like for me it's that, but I also understand that I don't have like the end all be all like opinion of that. So we were saying like
You're the resident down tempo
even
expert.
like dub techno, which dub is very much like trip hop is very much
fuck with
influenced by
dub.
dub.
Fuck with that a lot.
Dub techno, even like slow deep house is almost down tempo, but like beats
Lounge
are very much down tempo or can be. Like there could be really aggressive beats that might not be like BPM doesn't dictate all of that.
It's like halftime shit.
Yeah.
It could even
Or-
do that. You could even have like bass music can
No,
almost be
I
down
would
tempo.
even consider like Mind Design as like modern down tempo.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
Right. But like
I think
just kind of like the Balearic thing is cool, just like psychedelic kind of left field techno, like just slower. There's like a slow acid trend that's really cool. Yeah.
That's just lit.
Dude,
So
that's
it's
lit.
more like just
The
not
music's cool, too.
For me, and I
Be acid right here.
Oh yeah.
Sure, shout out to
Shout out
people who
Zane.
do
I love
acid.
Should have invited Zany up.
I'm just
I don't think
avoiding.
he'd come though.
I'm avoiding the. Sorry.
This homogenization
Yeah.
leads to these trends. I was listening to something, how algorithms are flattening culture,
Oh,
and
totally.
algorithms and social media shape our trends and what we do.
Right.
And because it flattens culture, people gravitate to something that the algorithm thinks that you want to see. So it's
Right.
not even that you want to see it; the algorithm thinks
It
that you
isn't
wanna
right.
see
Yeah.
There, it's not. Nothing
that
is
shit
like
is nuts.
malevolent or by design. It just ends up going this way, and I feel that way with like the overly saturated like dark techno thing. Is like a lot of people don't really like fuck with it, and
Yeah.
you just end up sort of getting force fed it. I can't listen to that like all night. Some of it can be cool for an hour or two, but
Yeah.
I'll go to a lot of all night things. I will be up late. And,
After hours.
Yeah.
but even for that, there's
Techno
I would
starts
rather
at
do
2.
I would rather do a little bit like kind of slower housey, like swingier stuff.
Like what we
Is
did
you can
last
is
month.
so palatable. I can listen to that endlessly. That again, that's just me though.
I've heard
sip
great
some wine
shows,
stuff.
that
yeah.
some buddies of mine put on where it starts off down tempo. It's a fucking, kind of all genre thing at first, and then turns into house music until like 12.
Right.
And then it's techno,
And then it's-
and then the hardest, fastest guy goes on at 2. and see how long until the venue.
Yeah,
kicks
I've
you
been
out.
on.
I've kind of been going on that same format as well.
Yeah.
Of, like, keep going harder.
Yeah, I think
So
some
only
of the
because I
warehouse
won't
shows
say
and
it
stuff.
was because of theme. It was because I had a hard act in the middle of like a show
It's
before.
just the people will stay, and then everyone
That's
else.
No, no,
Totally, yeah.
it wasn't
just
that.
kidding,
It was a.
Dare, we have
That's
something
not-
You're not
Dare
kidding, dude.
sponsored by
But,
Dare.
no, what it was is that I did a
Shout
show.
out
Coca-Cola. I'm like,
Pepsi gang.
yeah, but what happened was that what happened was that I did a hard act in the middle of a set, and we almost got a show shut down because like that scared most of the crowd away. So
Oh.
ever since
Boo.
then, I was all like, I
Nerd.
should put like some like kind of like lighter like people in between, and that's kind of been working out for me because now I've kind of been getting away with like a lot of venues that don't like hard music at all. They'd be like, okay, it was just the one act.
Right.
And like now I can kind of get away with getting like some gabber artists inside like bowling alleys and stuff, and which they're always tripping about. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Some gabber artists inside
Wow.
of bowling
Oh my
alley.
God.
Hell yeah!
That
Shout
boy-
out to the Corbin
I
Bowl.
would,
yo.
I would love.
Yo,
the
no
Corbin
age
Bowl is
played
lit.
I
there.
would
You
love
guys
to
know no
see-
age,
Lit.
dude.
I would love to see an average of the bowling scores after the Gabber started. Like, I would
If it
love to
went
see
up,
this
if it
computed.
trend-
Put you in another room. You don't hear it when you're bowling. It's
Yeah.
Just all the bowlers become violent.
Love it, dude. And there's a diner.
I
Get
fuck
eggs
with
and play a
the-
show.
I think there is something to be said for like time of day and intensity dictating. I don't even want to say BPM, but
What's flow? Right?
yeah, and intensity of music. Because I mean, there's like some like really intense things that are slow that wouldn't fit when we were trying to come up with the criteria for chill pill. It isn't necessarily BPM dictated, but more intensity and like
Heavy
It's the vibe.
flow.
yeah, and it could be
Yeah.
it could be borderline that, but like back to like maybe why some of this like dark techno for me is like overrepresented is it's just a lot of LA is run by like late night events. There's a lot of like
Yeah.
warehouse parties and things. Or I think the alcohol laws probably affect what people orient in that dance scene too. For whatever reason, there's just a current that gets swept into this trend that then spills over into
there's no
I'll be
real late
honest,
night
like-
spots that are legal.
yeah. It gets
you know.
it's and it well there yeah like
So you think that's why there's like a
just
big
wanna get
I think it
prevalence?
spills.
I just want to get.
I feel like
fucked
it spills over into like common hours then, and
Yeah.
it's without
That's
everyone
True. I just thought about
without
that.
ever
Yeah.
anyone knowing necessarily. But no, there's like a time and a place for it. There very much is that scene, but there's also more to my surprise, like a very healthy, non trendy scene or non like commercial.
Yeah, definitely. It's still there. But the thing is that like the trendy ones just are so out. It's so easy to find them. You know what I mean? Compared to like those because it took me
'Cause they're
forever to
paying-
find an underground like scene in the valley. I almost thought there was no music here.
There's a lot of indie
Like
kids.
you know?
For
There's
real.
a lot of indie kids doing shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to
And ska
you have
bands.
to seek that out more now than ever with like
Yeah.
algorithms being influenced by like money. Like if
Yeah.
you're into a thing that even if you don't know what you're into, but just something alternative, like you have to like seek it out.
On a kind of left field, how have you guys been doing with that with the whole entire social media game about all this?
Not good, Alex. not,
Doesn't look good.
not good. Not good.
No, I don't know. We like I mean we had like just announcing this one down tempo night had like some random excitement from people. Like we had people reposting things and
Hell yeah.
sharing that if only proves my point that like I think people were like thirsty for that sort of broad alternative in like a
More
in something
people are
good.
into So basically, since you know IG, Instagram, or X now, everything changes over time. So now the algorithm wants you to be more specialized. So it's like, don't do all these flyers, don't do all this, but if you have a meaningful thing once in a while,
Right.
you'll get boosted.
It's like you have to create your own trend.
So, it like what we were
Kinda,
talking
yeah.
about is if you post organically things that you love and not things that you think other people will love, it'll boost you higher.
Yeah.
That's the new algorithm now.
I think
I
like
see.
if you post
I'm
a
learning.
flyer, it doesn't really get you very high anymore.
No, I noticed
No,
that.
flyers
Yeah.
will get nut. Yeah.
So
No,
that's
wait,
why,
okay,
like,
so, like,
yeah.
I think I share a lot about my personal life.
Did you,
'cause-
Alfredo? Did you try holding a
You know.
cat? And
Holding a cat? No, I haven't
try,
yet.
uh,
I have
Well,
a
that's
cat.
me and my girlfriend at Big Bear is my most liked thing
See?
for our 6-year anniversary.
See?
I would post something of my girlfriend, and that would be the highest rated
put-
fucking thing.
yeah, oh totally.
Oh,
yeah.
you just are
Wait,
like
that's the key, you gotta
jacking
post your
off to
girlfriend.
it.
You know what I'm saying?
Which is so weird.
about
You
to
never
listen to
know,
some
but it
shit.
pushes your other
Well,
things
I don't
more.
know.
Because
I don't
of-
want to fucking share my whole personal world.
Not that
No,
everybody
no,
has
no,
to,
no.
because
Yeah,
I don't think
that's what
everyone
sucks,
could.
though. Like,
I'm
not that kind of guy. I feel like every artist would love it if all they had to do was just create their art and that was enough. You know?
Yeah.
That's
I
It's
wish.
never-
Yeah.
I think we should
I
move
wish.
forward doing that.
But
Honestly.
I mean, I think it's like a pipe dream because the algorithm's not gonna.
I was-
I feel like that's always been the case, though. That the
There's
the
always
things you
some-
remember about the artists that you love aren't always just the music, but it's the story and the come up and all this mythology
Yeah.
about them.
I mean, I know
Yeah.
artists. I have artists in my mind who I have no idea who the fuck they are, but I mean, maybe I'm a minority.
That can add to
you
it
know?
too.
Yeah, and sometimes
Well,
you meet them and you're
yeah.
like, this guy sucks. I like him better than you. No, I'm kidding.
Asshole.
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
It's cool to have you have a universe around you.
Ah,
Like
like
people
this guy.
say,
Heroes.
and I
Yeah.
think you're good at this because I think your aesthetic with the electric cumbia like genre, I feel like you encapsulate that aesthetic well, and I think everybody's got their own universes,
Uh-huh.
you know, with like the void shift kind of aesthetic that you have going on with the design and the sound design. Like you kind of curate this whole universe that's not just the music. You know what I mean? Like
I feel like that aspect of things becomes tedious too, though. Like
yeah,
it
of
becomes
course.
like
it's expensive and stupid. Like
it becomes expensive,
music
it becomes
videos.
stupid, it becomes business, and that's when it becomes
Yeah.
less fun. You know, when everything has to become business.
It's pretty-
It becomes
It's pretty hard to like any which way you go. It runs into that business wall.
Yeah.
Like, but I completely
Late
agree
capitalism.
with you. It's
Yeah.
I completely just. It's always wearing like. It's certain eras in the past 50 years. If you could just like afford certain equipment, you were like you had like a better chance of doing.
there is a call
like,
of equipment
there's
too,
a-
even in
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
There's always something that's like gatekeeping in
Yeah.
a sense
Yeah.
from.
Worse before. I mean, shit
Probably-
was way
you're-
more
I'm-
expensive.
Wait,
You
what do you
couldn't
mean?
DJ without 1200s.
Oh, yeah.
1200s and,
And a
vinyls
fucking
with all
and
the vinyls to
you
cover
couldn't
6
play something
hours.
if you hadn't bought it. You
I would
literally
never-
could not play it.
I feel like we never got over the laptop hate. Like I feel like there's still that so
Right.
prevalent still. Like people
Oh,
are
I
like,
can
oh
see that.
fuck off.
Just
we're
put
not-
some
All right,
cool
time to
stickers
use
on
your
it.
laptop.
Yeah.
Go.
I just want to
Bring
look
that
at some
back.
cool stickers.
I'm just gonna- I'm
I still
gonna-
get it every once in a while because like I reference like to performance over like live sets, and I'd be like, "Here I am with my push," and they're all like,
Here I
"Where's the
am."
hardware?"
Oh, there's so much.
And I'm like,
Where's your Digitech me?
Yeah, where's your-
where's your
Nerd,
Modular me?
loser,
There's so
nerd.
much
I,
goes on.
I was
Relax,
Yeah.
relax.
I mean, I like it all. I don't really care where it's coming from.
Can I just tell
personally.
the people to relax?
Yeah, relax.
All these equipment nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
All
somebody.
you purists out there,
One
relax.
time we had an
Why don't
act.
you just relax?
Yeah.
Uh,
Shout out to relaxing.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Relax.
Love relaxing.
One time we had
Relax.
an act at the Woodley Park show, and I think he said it best. He had hardware and everything, but he said it best. He was just like, dude, at the end of the day, we're just like adults playing with toys, and we're giving too much of a about what toys we're fucking
Yeah, dude.
playing with. You know? I was like, dude, yes.
Just
yeah.
remember.
But people pre-record their sets all the time. And you
Yeah,
can
they
just
do
press
too,
play.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people just like act.
I was
Oh, dude, it's so common. It's actually fucking common. as
I
shit,
was
yeah.
talking to Edit from Glitch Mob, and he was saying that like when it comes to any like big Coachella performance or any big thing, it's all preset.
Oh yeah.
Cause like you're nowhere you're gonna get all the lighting and everything to go in the same point as the way you.
I have a tell though. I have a tell where you can see when a set is pre-recorded. You just look at the visuals. If the
Yeah,
visuals
exactly.
are timed up to
They're too
everything,
locked in, yeah.
pre-recorded.
Well, I'll tell you this.
But who cares? Really? Who
I
cares
saw-
about any of this?
Was it FYF or Coachella that I saw at Flying Lotus? And I had that exact experience. They had the whole visual thing and everything. And I'm just not somebody who gets really like hyped up on visual stuff. So when I was seeing that, I was just like, dude, I'm fucking bored. I want
You're
to.
talking about like big venue visuals too. Like it's
Yeah, well, I think like that's like the focal point, especially.
well, oh, well,
Like,
that and that's sort of why I would almost have more that for me. That's more of an less favorable than small venue visuals
I
are
like
sort
the
of a
small
different
venue.
thing.
I like the small venue, like.
Well, it becomes
feel
more
and
about-
Well,
crowd.
it's tough because I think people get to a certain level where they're able to sell the tickets, but they're like, okay, well, what do I actually do? If you know,
What do I do
especially if
with
they're
my-
DJs and stuff, it's like
Well, yeah.
because a full band is a full performance.
Well, and
that
if
you
you're
get
an
to look
if you're an
at.
attendee and you're 700 feet back. What are you? You're not seeing the
Exactly.
person. You're seeing-
I'll
And so
say
unless
there-
they're doing something crazy with
so
their
it's a little
hands.
bit less.
Yeah, there is not much to look at too, even with a fucking performer. But I will say is that for me, like, also fair enough. Like looking at a DJ play is not very exciting anyway,
No,
right?
yeah.
Like what are you gonna look at?
I'm
what's
not
the
fun to
point?
watch play live. I mean, there's
that-
only so much I'm doing.
Well, that's why you
know?
you see all these EDC fucking festivals and stuff, and it always is accompanied by these big ass visual shit and stuff. Because
Yeah.
the reality is, he's watching a DJ
You're just
is
watching
not
a
that
guy.
fun. Yeah, it's not that
Stand
fun.
there.
Yeah. If anything,
Pretending to press a button.
I mean, it'd be cool.
Yeah, not even actually doing anything.
He's just
Oh my
smiling
God.
and dancing.
Wow. How
Something I related with Zany SFB Acid is that he was just saying like, you know, it'd be cool to just go back to the days where like the DJ booth was like tucked up into the left or
Yeah.
right of the corner of the room.
Los Globos, dude.
Yeah, and like you just kind of vibe in the room. Like it's more of like you just there.
Yeah.
in the
That's what
space
the
with
one the
vibing,
too
yeah.
many DJs the Despacio tent that will be at, I think it was at Coachella the one year, it was somewhere else in LA. They have like literal signs that are like don't take like, and they put
take
themselves out of
photos.
it. It's like a surround sound like experience where it's about the music, and that's how it was until a certain point when like don't face the DJ as a whole.
Yeah.
Don't
like-
face the DJs. Don't look at the
That's,
DJ.
I mean, but it's yeah. It's,
Back
it
in the
doesn't-
day,
it
though, that's
doesn't-
how clubs used to be. Like
Yeah,
everyone
just-
that I
yeah.
knew in
But
the
that,
people I worked with.
but I've gone. I mean,
But-
I will go to like really, like sort of music forward events, and it's just what you do. Like if
Don't
you're in a
face-
room and everyone's facing one way, generally you're just gonna sort of look that way. But
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you need to. so,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a spectacle at the end of the day too. Like shows
right.
in all levels. I mean, there's a level of spectacle
Phantasmic.
Because DJing back in the day was providing background music for the
for
club.
the fucking club. Yeah.
And
You know what?
How many hours did we fucking record?
I think we recorded 3 hours.
3.5 now.
Oh, that's a good fucking time.
3.5,
Yeah, dude,
you
we're
know?
good.
Well, we launch it in half.
Oh,
We had a good hour.
Thanks,
and a
guys.
half in
Catch
there.
us for the next one.
Thank you.
This is the sign off. We're
Thank
signing
you so
off.
Yeah,
much.
we're signing off.
Everybody
you.
say
Palacio Palace, Drunk Palace. Shout out to all of y'all.
Shout
Come out to
Beat
Los
Cinema.
Angeles.
Yourself in peace. Follow me.
Yourself in
Instagram.
peace. Yeah, everybody just plug in. Go.
Yeah, plug in, plug in.
Glo Phase something a dot something.
Yeah.
Your boy Pax is
Showpel coming on
yourboypax.com and
next week.
yourboypax.bandcamp.com.
Next
Yeah, do it again,
Thursday.
do it again.
Yeah. Shout out, Pax. Shit,
Your
keep
boy
going.
Pax at yourboypax.com and yourboypax.bandcamp.com.
Thanks so much for tuning into our first episode of Palacio Pod here with Palacio Palace. This will be hosted on our YouTube page and our Spotify. The radio-friendly version will be presented on KLBPM 99.1 FM every third Thursday at 12 p.m. and also on the Breadcrumb Show. Lastly, please check out our Instagram page because we're always posting up new shows. And if you want to support us, of course, there's shirts up for sale. Or you can just come to one of our shows or donate directly towards the bio. See you guys next month with a whole new crew.